This is an invisibility cloak that combines top-notch optical technology with 36,000 sensing lenses that can refract the light around the user without any dead angle, making the user enter a state of complete invisibility. Adrian, the optics expert who invented the technology, is a pervert who controls his girlfriend's clothes, behavior, and even thoughts, and his house is full of alarms and monitors. Cecilia can't stand this kind of life without freedom, so one night, she uses Valium to put Adrian into a deep sleep and successfully escapes from the cage. In order to avoid being found by Adrian, Cecilia was afraid to go home and stayed at her friend James' house. For 2 weeks, she didn't even dare to leave the door, until one day, her sister brought the news that Adrian was dead. Cecilia didn't have to be afraid anymore. The next day, Adrian's brother approached her with a copy of the will, the $5 million that Adrian had left to Cecilia. However, since the signing, bizarre things have happened one after another. Cecilia first felt that someone was watching her back, but when she looked back, there was nothing. The next morning, when she was cooking, the kitchen knife fell to the ground strangely, and the flame of the natural gas stove suddenly became bigger, and the pot soon caught fire. Luckily, it was discovered in time, so there were no serious consequences. At night, Cecilia's quilt was pulled to the floor. She wanted to pull it back, but found that the quilt was stepped on by the footprints and could not be pulled back at all. Terrified, Cecilia rushed to call James and told him what had just happened. After hearing this, James only thought that Cecilia was having a nervous hallucination. In order to return to normal life as soon as possible, Cecilia decided to find a job, but the resume she put in her bag disappeared strangely. Cecilia then started to become trance-like, and the next moment she fainted. The doctor examined Cecilia and told her that she had overdosed on Valium, which she had never taken before. Later that night, Cecilia finds a bottle of Valium in the bathroom, which is the same bottle she gave Adrian in the first place. Seeing the medicine bizarrely appear in her house, Cecilia suspects that Adrian is not dead at all and that he has been playing tricks on her in ways she cannot understand. 2 days later, someone uses Cecilia's email address to send her sister an extremely vicious and desperate letter. The angry sister kicks him right out of the house. After coming to James' house, a mysterious force suddenly slapped James' daughter. James thought that Cecilia was the one who moved, so he kicked her out straight away. Cecilia is going crazy from all these paranormal events. Almost pushed to the brink of extinction, she vows to find out this guy, who doesn't know if he's a human or a ghost. Cecilia feels something climb up the ladder. The woman picks up the knife and follows the drops to the floor and the pain after it to the kitchen. She realizes that the guy, who doesn't know if he's a human or a ghost, has washed the face paint off. Suddenly, Cecilia is grabbed by the neck by an invisible arm, lifted into midair and sent flying. Cecilia is grabbed by the hair again and dragged to the front of the cupboard, where she takes the opportunity to pull out a plate and slam it as hard as she can into the invisible guy. After breaking free, Cecilia called for the car and headed straight for her ex-boyfriend Adrian's place. Upon entering the villa, she managed to open the coded door to the study. That's when Cecilia realized that something had tapped itself in front of her when it was clearly empty. When he pressed the unlock button, a high-tech invisibility cloak gradually appeared. Seeing this scene, Cecilia is convinced that it is Adrian, who is wearing the invisibility cloak to fool himself. When she was about to take away the invisibility cloak, the dog outside the door suddenly barked. It was Adrian who came back. Cecilia saw this and hurriedly hugged the invisibility cloak and hid in the closet. But she didn't expect that the invisible Adrian also walked in. Cecilia directly bumped off Adrian and rushed out of the closet. While the dog blocked his way, Cecilia escaped from the villa. She rushes to ask her sister to the restaurant and prepares to explain the previous misunderstanding to her. Suddenly, the dinner knife flies into the air and kills her sister, and in the next second, the dinner knife flies into Cecilia's hand again. Now Cecilia becomes a murderer, and because she has been screaming about invisible people killing people, Cecilia is put in a mental hospital. After a physical examination, the doctor tells Cecilia that she is pregnant. Cecilia was a bit in disbelief when Adrian's brother approached her the next day. She told Cecilia that she would be released from the mental hospital if she gave birth to the baby and lived a good life with Adrian. Cecilia is even more convinced that Adrian is still alive, and in order to lure him out, Cecilia is ready to kill herself. She knew that Adrian would never watch her and her child die, and sure enough, the invisible man grabbed Cecilia by the arm. Cecilia raised her pen and thrust it forward, poking the invisibility cloak right through the system. The two of them then fought, and soon the prison guards heard the commotion and walked in. The invisibility cloak malfunctioned and he kept blinking. Noticing the anomaly, the warder was just about to strike when the invisible man grabbed the electric baton and killed him back. Cecilia took the opportunity to run out of the ward, but was caught and tracked back by the arriving guards. The invisible man also chased after her, and with the advantage of stealth, he easily killed the guards. Facing the invisible enemy, the warning that rushed to support them couldn't resist, and they were soon wiped out. Cecilia chases after him with a pistol, but is no match for the invisible man. Adrian tells Cecilia that he can't afford to hurt the love of his life, but he can't kill Cecilia's family and friends. With that said, Adrian leaves. To protect her loved ones, Cecilia grabbed a car and chased after him, and called James to tell him to protect her daughter. Just after hanging up the phone, James' daughter was attacked by Adrian. James rushes into the house with a gun, but is easily knocked down by Adrian. James was about to be killed. At the critical moment, Cecilia rushed over with a dry powder fire extinguisher and sprayed and swallowed it. After seeing Adrian's close call, Cecilia shot him several times in the chest, killing him for good. Cecilia then removes the other man's mask, only to realize that the invisible man is actually Adrian's brother. Before dawn, the Washington team finds Adrian, who is being held in the basement. It looks like Adrian is as much a victim as Cecilia. However, Cecilia doesn't see it that way and thinks that Adrian is the one behind it. Since the other party can fake his death, it's not difficult to frame his brother. Only when Adrian confesses to the crime can everyone get out of danger. In order to find the evidence that Adrian is the invisible man, Cecilia comes to interview him with listening equipment. However, Adrian keeps talking nonsense and doesn't answer the questions at all. When Cecilia, who is emotionally out of control, comes to the bathroom to fix her makeup, Adrian suddenly grabs a kitchen knife and wipes his neck to kill himself. When Cecilia comes out of the bathroom, she sees Adrian on the floor and screams in terror. Panicked, he rushed to call the police station to report the incident. After hanging up the phone, Cecilia pushes to the dead corner of the surveillance and changes her face. It turns out that the one who took out Adrian was Cecilia, who used the invisibility cloak that it left in the closet in the first place. The reason why Cecilia chose to talk at Adrian's house is that she wanted to use the surveillance here to clear her suspicion of murder. After seeing Adrian completely cool, Cecilia walks out of the villa and disappears. Released in 2020, this Invisible Man is definitely a top-notch sci-fi thriller. The chilling soundtrack and a lot of long, empty shots directly create a scary atmosphere. If you like sci-fi horror movies, then this Invisible Man is one you don't want to miss.